At the company party, my badge fell out. My wife's boss read it and froze. The moment still replays in my head like a skipped record. My badge slid from my jacket pocket, hit the marble floor, and spun once before stopping at his shoes. My wife's boss bent down to pick it up. He read my name. Then his face went blank, eyes locking on mine like he'd just recognized a ghost. That was the first time I felt it. That cold, sinking certainty that something in my life was already broken. I just hadn't heard it crack yet. The party was supposed to be harmless. An annual company thing. String lights, overpriced wine. Forced laughter. My wife, Lena, had insisted I come this year. She said it would mean a lot to her boss if spouses showed up. She said it with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. I ignored the small warning bells. I always did. Lena had been distant for months. Missed calls explained away by meetings that ran late. Her phone turned face down on the table. A new password. A laugh she saved for someone who wasn't me. When I asked, she said I was imagining things. I wanted to believe her, because believing was easier than being alone with doubt. At the party, she barely stayed by my side. She kept drifting toward her boss, Mark. Too close, too familiar. Their laughter sounded practiced, like a private joke I wasn't allowed to hear. I told myself I was insecure. That marriage had made me soft. Then my badge fell. Mark stared at it longer than necessary. My name, my company logo. His jaw tightened just slightly. "You work there?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. "Senior analyst." Silence stretched between us. Lena's smile faltered when she saw his expression. I watched the color drain from her face. That was the second crack. Later that night, Lena barely spoke. She said she had a headache. She went to bed early with her phone clutched in her hand. At 1:17 a.m., it buzzed. Once. Twice. Again. I didn't mean to look. I swear I didn't. But the screen lit up and I saw his name. Mark. The message preview cut off mid-sentence. "We need to talk. He knows where you." My chest felt hollow. Like someone had scooped something vital out of me and left the skin behind. I waited until morning. The next few days were torture. I noticed everything. How Lena flinched when her phone rang. How she avoided my eyes when I mentioned the party. How she showered longer, like she was trying to wash something away. I checked our phone records. Late night calls. Long ones. Always to the same number. Mark. The betrayal didn't hit all at once. It seeped in slowly, like water through cracks in a wall. Every memory became suspect. Every smile felt rehearsed. I replayed our last vacation, our last anniversary, wondering which moments were real and which were lies I'd thanked her for. When I finally confronted her, my voice didn't sound like mine. "Are you having an affair?" She didn't answer right away. That pause told me everything. "It wasn't supposed to happen," she said finally. Her voice shook. "It just did." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because something inside me had snapped. She told me pieces of the truth, carefully edited. That Mark had pursued her, that she'd felt invisible at home, that it didn't mean she didn't love me. Every word felt like salt in an open wound. Then she said the part that explained the badge. Mark and I worked on the same internal audit, a confidential one. If it came out that he was sleeping with an employee, my wife, it would destroy his career. He hadn't frozen because he felt guilty. He froze because he was afraid. I met him once after that. Not to fight, not to threaten, just to look him in the eyes. He apologized, said he never meant to hurt me, as if betrayal were an accident, like spilling a drink. I walked away without shaking his hand. At home, Lena cried. She begged. She promised transparency, counseling, change. I believed she was sorry. But remorse doesn't rebuild trust. It just acknowledges the ruins. I moved out 2 weeks later. The quiet was unbearable at first. Then it became honest. Some nights, I still miss her. Other nights, I miss the man I was before I learned how easily love can lie. But here's what I learned. Betrayal doesn't just break your heart. It hands it back to you and asks you what you're willing to accept. I chose myself. And that badge, I still wear it. Not because of the job, but because it reminds me who I am when everything else falls to the floor.